So she was breathing.
Hey VC, hello, Uncle Roddus here again with a quick vinyl update. I had some chores in the city yesterday and inevitably found myself in a record shop, as I normally do, can't avoid it. So had a quick look. I was actually looking for some specific things this time, not just browsing randomly, and I did manage to find one of them, but did manage to find a few other things. So several of the purchases made yesterday were repurchases of albums that I had in my original collection and had never got round to replacing or bothered replacing onto CD. So first one, which is what is playing in the background, is Wise Blood, the Dirt Dish LP. This was the only LP put out. This is our man Clint Ruin, aka J.G. Thirlwall, from the Fetus collection of bands such as You've Got Fetus on Your Breath, Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel. He generally just calls himself Fetus nowadays. Wise Blood was also, there was, now who was he? Rolly Mossaman. Now, wasn't he in the Swans, I think, from memory? So yeah, this is an album I had many years ago, so we picked it up. It's not the best of conditions. It's got a bit of a rip in the side of the sleeve there, a few dings. The record's a wee bit scratchy, but great to have this again. Next album we picked up, which wasn't on my list to look at, is a Flying Nun album from Fetus, well, speaking of fetuses, Fetus Productions, Luminous Trails from 1985 in New Zealand. Now these guys are fairly experimental, industrial, quite similar to the Skeptics, which is another New Zealand band that did some stuff from Flying Nun. Yeah, hadn't actually seen this record before, but I was familiar. The first track's Flicker, which I was familiar with. It's on one of my compilations. That's a really good track. But I did have an earlier album than this of theirs. I think there was another one that came out on Flying Nun, which was their third release before. After they had a couple of self-released albums, which I'm not familiar with at all. This one was a bit of a, I wouldn't say a blind buy, because I was, of course, completely familiar with their song Turning Japanese, which was a fairly big hit back in the early 80s, very early 80s. So this is from 1980, The Vapors, Nuclear Days. So I wasn't familiar with the rest of it, but it's a good recording. It's a fairly clean piece of vinyl, and not a bad deal for $10. So I had a listen to it yesterday, and I'm quite impressed. So this one here is one of the ones that I picked up that I had when I was younger. Girls' School album Hit and Run, something like their second album from 1981. And this is what you would probably call the new wave of British heavy metal from the early 80s. As you can see, they're all clad in leather in that picture, but these were, predecessors of the Runaways, which was an all-girl hard rocking group from the late 70s. This is a fantastic album. I mean, it was just awesome to hear this again. Very good condition. It's not mere mint, but it's very good. So that was another album. Again, was another repurchase from an album I had many years ago. This has got a different cover than the one I originally had. The other one, so this is a Mercury, 1981 Mercury Records. This was a reissue from 1987, I think, when I looked on Discogs. So, yep, Teardrop Explodes, Wilder. I picked this up first before their first album. I prefer their first album, Kilimanjaro. But this one has Colours Fly Away. Colours Fly Away was a song that was played on a music video show we used to have in New Zealand called Radio with Pictures, and when I was about, I don't know, 14 I guess, so they played it and just absolutely blew me away, that song. This album's quite a lot different from their first album. It's a little bit more experimental, electronic, and it's not as poppy, I guess, in some ways. So yeah, but it's a bloody good album to boot. And finally, and this is one of the ones I actually was searching out while I was there, and got it for a pretty good price. Our friends Wall of Voodoo, and this is the Cool of the West album, 1982, and I bought this on the strength of the amazing Mexican radio single, which was actually getting a wee bit of airplay. It's one of those songs that would get played very occasionally on the radio in the evenings. It's a fantastic song, and then you wouldn't hear it much at all, and so you'd be really hanging out to hear it again. So I had this album, I did purchase this album back in the day, and this copy is actually in fairly good nick, few dings and marks on the cover. The vinyl's a bit crackly, but it's certainly listenable once the music's playing. Illegal records, original New Zealand pressing, pretty much. Yeah, really glad to have this. Got it for a reasonable price. It was on my Discogs list, because I thought if I don't find it here I'll have to get it sent over, but it would have cost me a lot more. So some good buys here yesterday, and all of them are in actually fairly good nick. I mean, I bought them from a shop, so they should generally be pretty good. So got a bunch more coming from Discogs in the mail over the next couple of weeks, so look out for that in my next video. Hope you're all well, and I'm off to watch the Lemmy Memorial on YouTube, so have a nice day.